We're here to talk about Marc-Down Entertainment in 2018. So 2018 was a little bit of a roller coaster ride. We were coming hot off of a surging 2017. And to really tell the story of 2018, I kind of first have to rewind back a little bit to Black Friday 2016. It was like the third job I had in 3 years. And I felt like no matter how hard somebody works, no matter all the good things they do, I don't know whether it's New Jersey or if it's like that anywhere else. Nothing ever seems to be good enough, no matter, but yet the people that, there's people out there that they don't do anything and mess things up and pick their nose at work or whatever, and don't, I just can't stand it when I go to a retail place and they treat you like garbage. And that's why I try to treat you with all the respect possible. And, I always try to answer questions and I don't expect anything out of it. I was going to go back to being self-employed full-time. It's not the first time I'd done it. And over this next 15 months from that point on, what was once really just kind of started as a side thing to pay my kids' dance tuition. And now I got 4 of them in dance, so, it's not like it's a small tuition either. I think I spend more on dance than food. No, maybe not food, but... we built it to the point where, it's my line of work. It's my job. Do it like it's my job, because it is. I'm passionate about the hobby. I love this. I love talking sports. I like interacting with people. I did flea markets on the side for a number of years, selling, music and movies and all that stuff. And I just like being around people. Sometimes, I had an Amazon store. I didn't really get to interact with people much. And it was nice to take all the stuff that wasn't selling online and just, do that. I almost didn't know if I was going to get past that summer, though. But the opportunity came along to go to the National in Chicago in 2017. I pretty much went all in taking that trip. And from that point on, that's when things really took off for us. I'd never done a major show before, other than some small local shows around here. I hadn't even done some of the bigger local shows, really. So the fact that I was like, all right, we're going to go to Chicago, it was almost kind of stupid. But sometimes the dumb ideas are the best ones, right? So I decided that December that I was going to do one of the big 4 East Coast shows. So you got Boston, right? Technically, it's 2 shows. There's 2 different promoters, but that's like twice a year. You got Chantilly in Virginia, but in between and close to me, you had Philly and White Plains. So I decided that I was going to do the Philly show, and it was a good show. And that's where things for 2018 really started taking shape. I was like, you know what? Again, I like to be different. I used my iPhone to do personal boxes while we were at the show. I gave you a peek at what was going on. So, hey, we're live from the Philly show. This is what we got going around us here right now. I couldn't really walk the show, but I could walk around where I was. And we even got a preview. We had WWE Legends had recently come in, and I wanted to show it off for people because, I thought that was something good that we could break. And I had the assistance of a young wrestling fan. He was actually semi-famous. He was I forget what wrestler it was, but he was all over social media for crying meeting this wrestler. And I was just like, that's a great story. Do you care if I do a little video right now with him, and we'll open up a box of Legends together? And they were like, sure. So we did that. And, I gave him a hit at the end of it. He was really happy. I think he got like a Kevin Nash autograph or something like that. And the booth behind us it didn't go unnoticed, the atmosphere that we were trying to create. And it actually happens that they were the promoters of another one of the Big Four shows. And that's how the arrangements would be made for our first trip to White Plains, which was one of the big things that started us off for January last year. So January began, with a crazy start. I mean, we broke 25 products the first 10 days alone. All right. And had to shuffle that with also preparing for the White Plains show, where we were going to run free breaks for kids. I never even been to that show and knew how it worked, much less, ever did some kind of a promotional thing like that before. So, there was going to be some things that we were going to learn the hard way, obviously, but, they've been great with us and letting us, be a part of the show and let people know that we're going to be there. To make things more nuts, one of our dogs was declining quickly, and we knew we go to that show, she probably wasn't even going to make it much longer. She might not even made it for when we came back. So we unfortunately we lost a part of our family just before we left, and the icing on the cake, the battle of the couches. I mean, for any of you who watch those shows, some of you might have watched us for the first time because of that. We were doing our breaks, and then all of a sudden people were just like, asking if the couch was for sale, asking me to put a shoe on my head. And it was this weird group that just, their goal was to go and wreck other videos, calling people who posted videos of themselves. Their term was attention whores. And, they were, some of them were pretty ruthless. There were some very uncool things that were, especially one guy says something about one of my kids, and I wish I could have reached through the internet and messed him up pretty bad. But it was to the point where our interaction with them and all the things that I was saying, I was actually winning a lot of those guys over, and they were just watching because they were kind of enjoying what was going on, and they stopped busting my chops and let the top D-bags go at it. And we actually had people who, the way that the metrics used to work is if one person was watching that was on your friend list, then another person, anyone on your friend list could watch too. We had a video that had over 12,000 people watch it. Our page got exposed to over 500,000 people. And unfortunately, as funny as some of the stuff that was going on was, some of them were taking it personally that I wouldn't crack. So then they brought in other groups that were even more ruthless, like the Philly Offensive. And it was a total mess, but it got us a lot of exposure, and eventually we were able to block the main ringleaders of this, and everybody else kind of left us alone. And what we ended up with was a lot of people got to see what we do here, and they kind of liked it. So really, what should have hurt us? I mean, these guys were making people selling Sensi and the Pearl videos and stuff like that. I mean, those people, some of them were in tears because they were trying to make $1 and everything was getting ruined. And we took lemons and made lemonade, and when that actually gave us probably the equivalent of about $3,000 or $4,000 worth of free advertising. So White Plains went well. We got a lot of positive feedback. I would say, based on what would happen throughout the year with people coming back because they knew that we were doing the kids breaks there. Was it from the first show that was a total success, and that's what we're all looking for. I'm exposing people to what we do here and what a break is that might not know what it is already. And the promoters were getting people coming back Saturday and Sunday and taking part in the show and enjoying it. In January alone, we broke over 50 different products. And my goal for the beginning of the year, one of them, was to be one of the most diverse breakers out there. And we did that. Because even a lot of the bigger guys, you know, they could beat one product to death and do 30 cases of it. But you saw everything when we were doing stuff. Everything except for upper deck hockey. Sorry. White Plains is next week. So in February, decided, all right, things are going real good. We're going to do our first 100 hit break. It's 102 to be exact, but I also did my first interview. You know, hey, I'm cool, right? So I was a guest on the Fat Packs broadcast, and that brought us even a little bit more exposure. We also did the first of a few wrestling events for Standalone Wrestling, and then in March we were back in White Plains. January is a crazy show, so if you're able to go to White Plains in January, the only thing that tops that is the East Coast National in August, usually 2 weeks after the actual National happens. Both of these shows are intense. March is a little quieter, so they gave me a little bit more free reign. They let me use the microphone a little bit, and we worked out some of the bugs from the first show, and things went really well there. We even made it to Hofstra for their April show as well. So obviously, they liked the results that they were getting from White Plains and what they were hearing from people too. We broke a lot of high-end memorabilia or high-end products and memorabilia during March and April, which was a good thing. One, because we had some huge hits to show for it. A lot of hit of the year contenders, which those are a couple of posts that I need to catch up on. That, the wave post, and then I'm just going to make sure that if you didn't see the fantasy football recap, that there's a post showing your names on there for those who don't know that they won already. I think everybody, if you were in it, you knew that who got your prizes. But also it took a little bit of the labor off of me because my father was kind of in and out of the hospital for a couple of months and wasn't doing well, and he needed open heart surgery, and that gave me a lot of flexibility. You know, if I was working a regular job, man, they probably would have not been so gracious to let me, keep going up and seeing my dad, and getting paid at the same time. So the fact that I was able to still work and do the things that I needed to do, that was really important to me. And thankfully everything went well, and he's all recovered, and he'll be coming with me to White Plains. So at this point we started looking at a store location, believe it or not. We were hoping that by the fall we'd be able to open it, but then came May. Now, I still play softball, as long as I'm allowed to. And I generally play third base. One time, I took a line drive off my shin, and I was lucky my leg wasn't broken. I could see the imprint of the stitches of the ball for the next month, and it was probably until next season before that mark completely faded. May was kind of like that. So I'm still feeling it, basically. Out of nowhere, views dropped tremendously. I was getting people telling me, I can't see your posts. You know, I didn't know that was breaking. I would have gotten in on it. I missed my team. You know, it was quite honestly, I mean, you know, dollar value wise, it was our worst month of the year. And there was no explanation for it. Other than Facebook just decided that they were going to completely change things from the way they'd been doing it forever. And it's still a pain in the butt to this day. I'm still trying to recover it, honestly, but in adapting to this, again, some creativity, and we've managed, you know, to keep things going. You know, everything didn't just collapse because in May a lot of people couldn't see us anymore, and we started doing things like multiple cases. You know, we celebrated 3 years breaking on Facebook. In June, our anniversary breaks finally filled up, and each of those set new highs for the amount of hits we did in a break, or the most amount of boxes. So, I mean, even with all that was going on, we had a break that had like almost 130 hits. All right. And we had a break, I believe it was 27 boxes. So, you know, we're still constructing breaks that people like, and we still got it. We just, unfortunately, not everybody can see it now. But in July, I did my first repack, the Marc-Down re-break. Got a lot of positive feedback on it, and we're trying to fill football now. I do have spots for sale on the website, but just like the last one, the re-break name holds true because originally I was always going to be offering spots as skunk bonuses. I just didn't realize that so many of them were going to be skunk bonuses. Even after the first one, everybody liked it. So, but I mean, hey, that's what it is. It's the re-break. You got skunked. You want a second chance to get a. You know that there's going to be at least 1, 2, 3, 4 big hits in there. You know, and we limit it to 100 envelopes. We also attempted to find a way around not doing minis and breaks with no cards for people, you know, just like Dan was saying before, like, you know, you want to try it. Well, I'll try it. I wanted to try it just to see if it would increase the amount of posts that we had and increase the amount of views and traffic and all that. But I don't want to just say you pay me $10 and you might get something, you might not, because that's gambling. That's not collecting. And maybe that's my problem. Maybe I should focus on just the dollar bills. You know, I mean, let's face it. If I don't get the dollar bills, I won't be doing this because I still got a household to support, and I can't do this full time if I'm not making anything on it. But I tried to hold myself to certain ethical standards, all right, values, beliefs, and I really didn't feel like, you know, what if somebody has a gambling problem and they just kind of use this as a way to do it instead? Well, I don't want to feed that, you know, or what if, you know, we get a kid that sees us at White Plains and they get into a break and they don't get anything. I mean, I would still send them something, but it's not the same as getting something in the break, you know? So I don't want to do that. But I figure with this membership idea, you buy a package, you get points, all right? Points are not dollars. You're going into this ahead of time. You know all the risks and rewards of this. You spend your points how you want, but you're guaranteed at least something to get shipped to you for your membership deal. But I had one person buy. Thank you, Nigel. I had one person buy a membership, so I guess
Nigel?
it was Nigel. Yeah.
I love
So we scrapped that. Hey, not everything's a hit, right? But this is a hit. Oh, yeah. That's a hit. So, the month ended with the ride to Cleveland.
Well, that was a fun trip.
So much went right the previous year in Chicago. But, I mean, the lack of internet right there, that's a setback.
There was no internet? That was the problem?
Yeah. I know. We're actually kind of lucky. We still had some things going in our favor because apparently the only cell phone service that was working at the National in the Expo Center was Sprint, and that's what we had. So we did what we always do, and we adapted.
Improvised.
We focused more on content than sales. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't pay for the hotel, the gas, the tolls, and all the product that we buy. But again, you know, we take these situations, we learn from them, we shape them into future things, which we have done over the course of the year. So while it didn't help put food on the table, we had some fun with some passers-by. Eric Norton from Fat Packs came along, and we just busted open a box of WWE because there was nobody there. By that point, like 60% of the breakers had left. Just the big ones stayed there. But there was a lot of empty tables where I was sitting at because I didn't have 4 spots. I had 1. Not a lot of one-spotters, but we still had some company. Our tables weren't as bad as the ones behind us. There was like nobody behind us. We also had some memorable moments with the lovely Markov. I still get people talking to me. We had the other day, we were at Christmas service in church, and somebody is like we hadn't seen for a while, like, oh my gosh, you guys were so funny. And I was like, walking in the door, you know, it's like, no, when you were away a few months ago, and you guys were just, you know, cracking me up, and it's like, you know, we had some fun. We did. Oh, believe me, if you could see some of the videos from the Panini party. But
had a lot of fun.
Yeah, had a lot of fun, yeah. But, you know, we did a lot of the silver, a lot of the gold. I pulled that 1-on-1 Saquon Barkley, which will be the top prize most likely in the premium Marc-Down break, that re-break that we're going to do after football happens. So that's one of our 2019 plans. We'll talk about that later. So what Cleveland wasn't, the East Coast National was. And we had another great show at White Plains. And, I mean, I think people see what we're doing there. And this time around, not only did we do the kids breaks, and when I do the kids breaks, it's during prime shopping hours. So I'm you know, again, there's some benefit to me doing it, but I also kind of lose some of the main hours of the show. But people were still coming afterwards, and you know, we actually did as well there as Cleveland, which is actually kind of pathetic for Cleveland, but again, with no internet, and not really supposed to be selling boxes loose. Well, if we have no internet, I wasn't going to listen to that. But in general, we're supposed to do breaks there, and that's it. So, you know, it was what it was. But the East Coast National was something that kind of kept things going back towards the right direction. We closed out a busy travel month. It was our shortest trip. We went to Atlantic City for the Boardwalk Beatdown Convention. Again, there were some situations there where we got stuck in a spot where the line totally cut off the whole wing that we were in. But, you know, when you're hanging around with a bunch of wrestlers, I guess you guys saw the some of you guys saw the table picture. We still had some fun, and we broadcast a few personal breaks, and we saw Sting and Goldberg, which Sting is still my favorite wrestler, but Goldberg was way cooler in person. Sorry, Sting.
Hey, where was it that I saw Hulk Hogan?
You saw Hulk Hogan at the National.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
I have his picture.
October brought us back again to Hofstra. I did. That's the one White Plains show that I didn't get to do last year. A very close friend of ours was getting married, so we just took the show over to Hofstra, and that was our biggest hit for the kids breaks so far. One of the kids hit a Saquon Barkley auto. That's not a bad freebie right there. The Leaf Vaults pretty much drove us through November. It was pretty much something here or there and a Leaf Vault at the end of the week to keep everything running smoothly. And I tinkered with our format for the first time.
Tinkered? What do you know?
I still have that Barkley, yeah. How about a kids break outside White Plains? Yes. I want to do that.
Daniel Bryan?
And it might happen. It might happen sooner rather than later, but I got to work on that. I had another promoter that wanted to talk to me. And I gotta reach out to them and see if we can make that happen. And when I did it, it was just an example that I gave earlier was when we were at the Philly show, and I just gave a kid the better autograph that came out of a box for no reason. That's genuine, whether it's promoted or not. And I always try to, hook kids up with stuff and things like that at shows, Hook them up. And usually those are the dealers that people remember. It was like when I went to the Philly show in December and I said, hello, how you doing? Something simple like that. The guy just looked at me funny for a second. I'm like, I don't know, maybe he recognized me or something. I don't know. And he's like, next thing that came out of his mouth was, been in this show for over an hour now. You were the first person to say hello to me. It's
Wait,
like
a customer?
A customer, yeah.
Nobody spoke to him?
That's what he said. I don't know. I mean, I know there's plenty of guys that were there that seemed like friendly and whatnot, but.
Well, I've seen some grumpy people in this business.
But yeah, you get a lot of that too. You get a good mix, and it's on both sides of the table. Customer's always right, but they're still grumpy too sometimes. So now we're doing schedules and preset topics, and one of the things I want to ask is, what do you guys think about that? Is that the way to go in 2019? It's not easy to schedule a break and then it doesn't fill, though. And it makes it hard for me because I spend all that time trying to get the break to fill. And then, literally, it can take me up to 2 hours with interruptions to put my thoughts together and pound out a script sometimes. It depends on how intricate it is. Some things I just wing it, and other things I write notes for. This one I wrote notes for too. I mean, it's still my words, but sometimes I don't remember them all. So December brought things back full circle. We made it back to Philly. We said hello to people. And Historic Autographs came to us about their holiday boxes, and we had a holly jolly good time with them. So things that we did new in 2018 included being not just a dealer at a show, but more of an attraction doing the kids' breaks at White Plains. Not something that I would have even thought of. And then a month before that show was supposed to happen, that's what ended up happening. That came about, and again, JP Sports and Rock Solid, they do a rock solid job of helping us get our name out there. And again, we always like to pump up their shows a little bit. It will be one of the topics for this week, the White Plains show. We did our first triple case break, and I think it was after things started going downhill with Facebook. So, for those of us who have been around a long time with us, we started doing just like, a few boxes at a time. Again, this was not my full-time job when I started doing it. I had a store. Life happens. Somebody stole my identity. I lost a job all at the same time. And the store wasn't to the point yet where it was ready to support our family. So the store closed. But, when you look at the way things go in life sometimes, and you really sit and you pray about something, and in your heart of heart that things may not be going your way, but it's not the time to pack it in and quit on it. You find a way. And we did it literally 3 or 4 boxes at a time, and we built up to half cases. Then we started bringing in cases. And I mean, I'm going to call them the peak months in 2018. We were breaking 5, 6 cases of products, of individual products. 5 of Optic, 5 of Prism, 5 of Certified, whether it was in whole or whether it was spread out amongst other breaks. That's what we were doing. We rolled out a new format. We had our biggest variety ever, and I dare say, except for maybe a few exceptions, all right, maybe a few exceptions, I don't think any other breaker, with some exceptions, so not just any other breaker, but the vast majority, broke as many different things as we did. Why do we do that? I mean, some of this stuff is low margin. I don't make hardly anything on WWE. I don't make hardly anything on Walking Dead. In fact, sometimes it's a loss. Those season 8 boxes didn't have as much cool stuff as the set before it and the set after it. Fortunately, I only have a few of those left. But we also, I don't want to say we're not selling out, because we're still a business, and that is the main goal, is to keep the lights on. If we have no internet, we have no broadcasts. We didn't beat to death one thing over another and tell everybody else who liked other stuff, hey, look, buy into this or go find somewhere else. Because you know what? We were that somewhere else a lot of people found. We also started broadcasting on Periscope and YouTube regularly for the first time. So that's kind of going into the direction that we're going into 2019. We're going to increase our social media presence. We're even going to touch a few things that we've never gone into before, really. All right. I'm a little nervous whether I'm going to be wasting my time on certain things. But I even kind of thought of one thing in particular is kind of untapped. So we'll see.
That?
I'm not telling.
What?
Somebody else is going to do it then.
You have to tell me.
I'll tell you later. So we're again, we do things a little bit differently sometimes, and that's what stands out in social media. All right? When you do things differently, or you do things the same exact damn way everybody else does. But that's not as fun. So that's one of our goals for 2019. Another goal is to attend an industry conference. I was very close to doing this last year. My father getting ill and the timing of two of them, like literally he got hospitalized the day before if I were going, that I would have been on an airplane. So it wasn't in the cards for last year, but I do want to go. The Tops one is very close, and I don't know if we have enough momentum where I can take a few days and go to Arizona. That's in late February, so I don't know. Maybe if we get a little pickup, some things turn around, or something big happens. You know, White Plains, we blow it out of the water, something like that.
I'll be here.
Maybe we'll try to go to Arizona and have some fun there, do some broadcasts. You know, probably annoy the crap out of them if I'm running videos while walking around the conference. Not during the actual conferences though; that would be just rude. But you know, kind of, we always tried to bring you guys along. You know, even when I take the road trips, taking pictures of things that we pass along the way, just little things like that makes it feel like I bring you all with me. I also had something come up last year that I had plans pretty much set, other than the fact that I didn't actually purchase the plane ticket, and things fell through. I was going to go to the rookie premiere. I would love to do that this year, and again, bring you along with me. 5th year anniversary breaks. I'm telling you right now, this is what I want to plan. One of the breaks is just going to be focused on hits. We're going to hit 150 hits for the first time ever. It's going to be our biggest hit count ever. I just got to make it affordable enough for everybody to get in. So I might not make any money on that one, but we'll turn over 5 cases. And you guys can get some good stuff, and that's what the anniversary is all about. It's my gift to you, right? So we'll see what we can do about getting a 150 hit case or 150 hit break going, and try to make it something that we can fill too. That's the second most important thing, right? The other anniversary break, I haven't decided which sport's going to be which, and I probably won't until right before I put it together. The other case break, I think Flawless Baseball is going at 1150 right now. The other break is going to be a timeline break of 5 years. Oh, you've done that before. You've gone 10 years. All right, well, last year was the first time we did a triple case break. This year, we're going to do a timeline break of 5 years, and all 5 years is going to be a case. 5 years, 5 cases. I don't know how I'm going to do it. We got a bargain break with 2 boxes that's been up since a month ago. A random team. We'll figure out a way.
Marcelo,
What's that?
are you drunk?
No, not yet.
Why do you keep stopping what you're saying?
I need my brain to catch up. I don't know.
Oh. You're cute.
Yeah, we send the cases with the Flawless. Another goal that we have, all right, and this is another reason why we got to get this break right here going tonight. we tried to give away some big dollar credits. And the fact of the matter is, January of last year, I think we did like 50-something breaks, if I'm not mistaken. Not all of them were qualifying breaks, but you kind of get the point I'm trying to make.
No.
So when I did those contests to do just 25, it wasn't an unattainable number. I want to do a giveaway that would blow the doors out. But here's the thing. It's going to take a year for it to happen. And there's a catch. And I don't know if I want to post this, but I want to know what you guys think. I'm looking for feedback here. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. A break a day can get somebody up to $10,000.
What? I want a break.
See, that got her attention.
My teeth hurt.
I don't have $10,000 to give away, but if I did a break a day, I would. We do 365 qualifying breaks.
What do you mean by qualifying breaks?
Qualifying break is usually 5 boxes or more. A bargain break's not going to count towards a number.
Why not?
Because I don't make anything on a bargain break.
Well then. Dang it.
But you figure 365, all right?
That's how many days there are in a year.
Really? You're catching on quick.
I think you've been drinking.
$10,000 divided by 365. So basically, for the following year, and the break credit would be given out in 2020, however it breaks down, whether there's 3 big prizes, or maybe we'll do 10 prizes or 12 prizes, because there's 12 months in a year. We do something like that. I mean, that's only going to cost me, what, $27 a break?
I think you're on crack.
So as long as it's a qualifying break, because I'm lucky if I make $27 on a bargain break, so that the little stuff don't count. It's got to be 5 boxes or more. $10,000 in break credit would get given away. That's why I was doing the 25s, because 25 is close to 30. I'm afraid to put it up there, and by the end of the year, we're at 200. It ain't going to be extended for catch-up there. So then I feel like I've put something out there, and, it doesn't happen. So should I stick to doing little ones? Because the little ones haven't given away much yet either.
Dang nabbit.
So you tell me, is it worth putting it out there? Seeing if we get a reaction? I just don't want the reaction to be bad. That's all.
Are you asking me?
I'm asking everybody. Your opinion counts. Your opinion is one of the most highly valued ones.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I heard $10,000.
And there's one other goal that I have for 2019.
Is it to lose weight?
Okay, there's 3 other goals that I have for 2019. One of them's to lose some weight. They haven't opened the gym yet, though. Another one, I don't tell anybody what my dollar amount goal is, but despite all the things that happened, I actually hit it for 2018, so I guess I'm going to have to bump it up a little bit. But the final
Frontier
thing that's on my wish list.
Is it I would do the shows with you?
The other thing that is final on my wish is I want to do what we weren't able to do last year. And
On vacation?
the other thing that I want to do, you're killing me here, is open a new retail location.
Oh yeah, that's what I want you to do too.
I can't function in it's crowded, and there's a certain dollar amount where it's okay to function here. Like when I was doing this part time. All right, the amount of merchandise, the amount of supplies, everything, it was easy. It was simple. And then I just put it away, and it wasn't a lot. Now, once I get to a certain dollar amount, it gets very crowded in here. It gets very messy, and I really can't do things to the best of my ability. Now, you'll never see that because you're always going to get your package come in, shipped in great shape, all right? And that's that. But I'm tripping over myself. I'm literally like walking in one room to get a printout for a label. I'm walking in another room to get an envelope. I need a retail front if I want to be as effective as I can be.
And then we can go back to eating.
And then we can eat at our kitchen table most nights. Yeah. And we've talked about, me and Jess, me and Markov have talked about this a lot. We've over the past few years talked about, is New Jersey the place to do it? This, that, and the other thing. But until I am at almost to what I was in April, March's numbers were where I needed to be to get a store, and that's why I started looking in April. Then that's going to be a tough reality. So either I got to be real creative. Now, when I opened my first store, I was real creative. I was real cheap too, and yet we always got told things like, "This is the most organized card store I've ever seen." Believe it or not,
well, that's because I was the one helping you organize it.
I designed everything.
Oh please! Whose idea was it to hang those shirts on the wall with the hooks?
Your idea for the hooks, my idea for hanging them.
Yeah, and I was also 9 months pregnant. Let's not forget that.
Yes, and you were awesome. I had two very awesome employees, my lovely wife and Mike.
And Lexi.
And Lexi.
Every day.
She really didn't work much though. And she was very millennial in her job duties, but she was what? 3? 2? She was 2.
And Becky spit up on you.
And Becky spit up on me just before we were going to do one of our breaks in store.
Oh, Becky.
Oh man, those were the days.
Becky's not changed.
So, in order for these things to happen, I gotta get a lot of things firing back on the right cylinders. Now, if you've sat here and you've watched a good chunk of this, chances are you are at the heart of Marc-Down Entertainment. I haven't been showing any cards. I haven't been, other than offering $10,000 in break credit, I haven't really done much self-promotion here. But it's you guys that I depend on. There's a lot of people January, February, March, April that were, buying in and buying in big. And other than Barbara, God rest her soul, who unfortunately passed away in late August, but really I don't think we heard from her much after May either. April, maybe April. But there was a lot of people who they couldn't see the posts and they didn't, for one reason or another, just keep getting into ours. Out of sight, out of mind. But the heart of Marc-Down Entertainment is all of you who keep these breaks continuing and keep this machine rolling. And I want to do the things that make you guys excited to be here. So again, don't hold back. If you got any feedback for me, doesn't mean somebody tells me something and I'm going to do it, but I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to tell you why it isn't that way or why it could be that way. And I've always been that way. That's not a change or anything like that. But I just want to make this the place to be for collectors to enjoy themselves. There's not a lot of stress here. All right.
There's a lot of stress on this thing.
Well, yeah, once the camera shuts off.
Sometimes while the camera's still rolling.
She was buying at a good clip. She was buying about 6 or 7 spots, a lot of breaks.
The people want more of me, let's be honest.
I think they do want more Markov.
They get the kids to bed before 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, well. So there it is, the year in review, what our goals are for 2019. The rest, you tell me, what can we do in order to, you like what you see here? Most of you not afraid to tell your friends, hey, I break here and this guy treats me right, and I appreciate that. You get a Marc-Down mail day package, a lot of you will post it. Well, a few of you will post it. If a lot of you posted it, maybe more people would see it. I don't know.
I could post it. Send me something.
I'll send you something.
I don't want that.
Here's the thing, Dan. I don't have Flawless in hand right now. I would love to open some Flawless right now. I should have it on hand before White Plains. So by Thursday, I should have it on hand. Yeah, man, it's been good. It's nice to be able to talk to not only a fellow dealer, but a friend, someone I know at a show. And you do any other shows, let me know. I might go back in January. I don't know yet.
Where?
Colts Neck.
What weekend is that?
I don't know. That's why I gotta look it up.
Maybe the last weekend. Alex's birthday.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to do it. I think it is the last weekend of the month. Or it might be the weekend before that. I'm not sure.
Oh man, I can eat popcorn and stuff.
So, Flawless I should have next week. I got to make a choice. If the breaks aren't spitting out constantly, I got to make a choice what I bring in one week to the next. So I decided to go with Kings instead of Flawless because it was newer. The only national treasures I have is these 2 boxes in the break right here. So I went through all the other cases. And I mean, the way that things have been this year, some products I'm not well allocated on, and others I am, and I've been literally wholesaling some stuff to other breakers by the case because I got to turn the product over. Not any of the football stuff because I don't even see any of the football stuff, but as far as like some of the baseball stuff, that's why some things I say is coming in, and then you don't see as much of it, is because I got to move it so that I can get the next thing in. If we don't turn a break over fast enough.
Can we please do a karaoke break show?
Karaoke break show. We got to figure out a way to do it where Facebook won't ban the video.
It'll be me singing.
Okay, so we'll come up with a lineup. How about 10 songs from The Greatest Showman?
How about if we improv? Because I
Improv?
plan things.
Oh, okay. How much is King's? King's retails for $400 a box. I'm doing it for $385. And that's because I was able to get it direct from Historic Autographs. If I have a store, it means a few different things that can work out in everybody's favor. One, if I'd still need to, allocations are allocations, and I'd still need to use the distributor that I use right now. But if I were able to get stuff directly from Topps or from Upper Deck, that means more stuff that I'd be able to bring in, and I'd be getting it for less. So like King's, pretty much $400 is the standard price most places. But I can do it at $385, even with shipping and insurance on it. That's probably about $10 right there. No, it's 2 cards. 2 cards. It's a gold and a silver auto. So if you look here, Tom Brady and Mike Trout, there's multiples of each of them, and they count as silver level. So there's 2 slabs. Last year, I was only allocated 1 box through the distributor. I wasn't even going to ask this year because I'd probably only have gotten allocated 1 box. But that 1 box had a Hank Greenberg as the silver and a Ted Williams as the gold. So in that limited experience right there was a pretty good one. Again, it's the only box that we've ever opened here, but they only make 94 cases. They're 4 boxes a piece. All right, so 360 plus 60, so what, 376 boxes? And you see a list of like 20 ridiculous names, and there's multiples of a lot of them. Those are pretty good odds. It's not a cheap one, but you got pretty good odds of pulling something big. Again, I still got to put those posts up for the baseball and football hits of the year. That's coming soon. I'll probably get to it tomorrow after softball. But most likely, from the early hearings, right, from those who are making their ballots public, it's that time of year, the Marc-Down Hall of Fame hit from last year probably came out of a Historic Autographs box, and that was lineups, and that was Babe Ruth. Yes, they're cut autos just like the ones we did last night. So this was a less expensive product. This was, where'd the box go? I dropped it earlier. Capital of Baseball. These are $105 a box, and that was one of the hits we got. But Babe Ruth over Mickey Mantle, I think so. All right, let me know when you're ready.
What's happening?
We're going to get our first look at Kings here.
What's that mean?
Huh? Well, it's a 2-card box. So, again, while Dan jumps off for a second, we got National Treasures and Bowman Draft as the most next likely break to happen. All right? Skunk bonus is a Barry Larkin autographed jersey. The Diamondbacks are 35. The Orioles are 65. The White Sox are 75. The Cubs are 85. The Reds are 90. The Rockies are 25. Tigers, Astros, and Royals are 50 apiece. Marlins 40. Mets 90. A's 60. Pirates 40. Padres 30. M's 35. Excuse me. Rays are 40. And the Rangers are 35. An invoice? Yeah, I can do that. Like a physical PayPal one? So Diamondbacks, you got Paul Goldschmidt. Orioles, Cal Ripken Jr. White Sox, you got Madrigal and Frank Thomas, I believe, in National Treasures. Mets, you have Kelenic and a whole laundry list of guys. I think Nolan Ryan's pretty good on the Mets checklist. Padres, we hit a Fernando Tatis Jr. out of National Treasures already. With the group disc, the 3-team combo discount, I think it was Rick got it for like the Padres for like $8. I told him, why don't you add the Padres? Hits Fernando Tatis. Let's see. I just got to go into the other app and get your email real quick. 2 different PayPal apps here. Oh, not on PayPal. Okay, I thought you meant an invoice. No problem. Like the PayPal invoices. I can do that right now. That'll take me a minute. That's actually easier. You want a picture with it? Manage, add product. Ah, my finger got in there. Dang it. Can I crop it out? Yes, I can. There.
I'm glad you're so passionate about what you do.
So, thank you, my dear. All right, that should be in your messenger right now. So Cubs have a decent checklist in National Treasures, and then you got those 2 big rookies out of Bowman Draft. Reds are actually usually pretty good by themselves in National Treasures, and then you throw in Jonathan India in there. You got some good possibility. Mariners, Josh Stowers, and I think you have some possible Ken Griffey Jr. relic patches that are nice. Trying to get a rundown again here. Rockies, it'll be the usual guys: Arenado, Blackman, plus the rookies or the draft picks out of Bowman's draft. Tigers, Casey Mize, and usually they're shorter printed, but you get some good like really old stuff off the Detroit Tigers. Rangers have some Nolan Ryan. I think this year they went more Mets than any other team with Nolan Ryan, but there's still some Rangers stuff for Nolan Ryan. And there's a couple prospects in Bowman Draft as well. What have we seen? Juan Gonzalez showing up. So, for a cheap team, you can kind of get what you pay for, but you could get something pretty decent out of them. The A's are usually pretty well stocked in National Treasures, especially with some old timers, some 80s guys. And then in Bowman Draft, who the heck's on the A's in Bowman Draft? I don't think there's much in Bowman Draft. It's National Treasures on that one. Astros are pretty decent both ways, I think. Not so much in Bowman Draft. I think there's only one autograph subject. But, you know, National Treasures, you'll have your current guys like Altuve and Correa. Plus, I don't know about Nolan Ryan, but I remember Bagwell being on the checklist and probably Biggio too. So I think Dan's about to get back here. Royals are deep in Bowman's draft, and George Brett is a good signature subject in National Treasures. I think I got most of the teams. So, Dan, I've got all of case 84 sitting here. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Again, this year is a multi-sport focus, and they even have, they have Stephen King in here as an oddball one. You know, like they like the Cash Money thing that they did in the past with Friends and Foes and stuff like that. So there could be some non-sport surprises too. They're good for that, but if they do put something in, it's usually going to be something good. So Dan the man, 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm hoping for a big one tonight. Lucky number 3. All right, this is our first look at Kings. Good luck. Kings 2018. Pull you a Brady, you'll buy another. Oh, man, this could be like Undertaker night, right? You pull me an Undertaker, you can have that John Cena quad booklet. Yes, sir. One Undertaker coming up. So let's see if we get you a Brady. It's probably Lexi again. Man, these things are slightly tight. I may have to just destroy it in order to get it open. There we go. All right, here we go. All right, I flipped to the back, so I don't even know what's in here. All right, so let's start with the gold. How about we start with the gold since Tom Brady is a silver? So I don't know what the silver is. So let's start with the gold. This individual had broken the record for hits in a season, I believe. I think that record still stands, actually. So if I'm correct, you might know who I'm talking about.
And if you're not correct, then you'll have no idea who you're wrong.
That is correct. So this individual played for 15 seasons, primarily at first base with the St. Louis Browns. Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot he broke it. Until 2004. I forgot about that. Until 2004, he held the record for most hits in a single season with 257. Ichiro did break that record. That's right.
I got nothing.
He batted .340. Now, we talk about 3,000 hits as like the automatic in, but he batted .340. So 2,812 hits. And on top of that, he... besides the Browns, he also played a little bit for the Senators and the Boston Braves. 2-time batting champion, 4-time stolen base leader, and he was voted into the Hall of Fame on his 4th ballot in 1939. So he was one of the original guys getting voted in.
He must be pretty old.
He's actually pretty dead. He passed away in 1973, so he's not old.
He's very dead.
He was born in 1893, so God bless him if he were still around.
What time? I mean, what year?
So this one's numbered 8 out of 22. George Sisler.
I never heard of him either.
Again, until Ichiro broke the record. this was the benchmark for hits in a season.
Here's the thing about being famous. If people don't know who you are, how famous are you?
And the next one is 4 out of 7. I like this silver. This is a good silver. It's not Tom Brady, though.
Well, thank God.
So 4 out of 7 in the series. Maybe one of the greatest pitchers of all time.
What, we're not sure?
Well, it's more of an opinion thing.
Pitchers? I thought you were talking about football players.
No.
You said Tom Brady.
It's a multi-sport product. It's mostly baseball, though. This individual only played for 12 years, but probably 12 of the most dominant years ever. From 1955 to 1966, he was voted into the Hall of Fame in 1972 at the age of 36, the youngest player ever to be elected.
Who is Jackie Robinson?
No, but he played on the same team.
I don't know what team that is. They had blue numbers.
7-time All-Star, 4-time World Series champion, 3-time Cy Young Award winner.
What team did he play for?
Played for the Brooklyn Dodgers.
No, they moved.
Sandy Koufax.
I've heard of him.
You have heard of him.
Is he any good?
He was pretty good.
Is he dead?
No, he's actually still alive.
So he's not still good?
He was born in 1935, and he's still signing every once in a while. So again, George Sisler, that's cool. Like, this is what I love about historic autograph stuff. This is some nice nostalgia stuff, And for $385 a box, you know that what you're gonna get is at the very least going to be pretty cool. So thank you, Dan, for being the first one to pop open a box of Kings for us. Again, they're $385 a box, or we have a case break of them up right now. It's $199 for one spot, or you can get 2 spots for $385. Maybe you play your odds. Maybe you get 2 silvers. Maybe you get 2 golds. Who knows? Depends on where the numbers fall. So $199 for one spot, 2 for $385. Again, that is up right now. There's only 8 spots in the break, so we fill 7 out of the 8. I'll try one. I'm not afraid.
I'm afraid.
You're afraid? Ghost of Babe Ruth haunts these boxes. So yes, they're $385, and again, some of the big hits that you can get are LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Jesse Owens. How cool is that? Like, I mean, literally a historic figure, like Jesse Owens. Tom Brady, Mike Trout, Babe Ruth, Walter Johnson. How many Walter Johnson signatures do you see hanging around? Lou Gehrig, Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, Roberto Clemente, Jimmy Fox. So this has got a deep checklist of some heavy stuff in it. And again, there's 1 gold and 1 silver per box. So pretty much the way they do it is, they usually try to have either you got a good gold or a good silver, And Sandy Koufax is a nice one. And it was actually harder to pull in this series than the Sizzler, because Sizzler, they got 22 of them. And everything's all authenticated. So they use Beckett for these. For the capital of baseball, like this that we pulled yesterday, they use PSA DNA. These are only $105 a box. It's more of a limited checklist. It's only teams from 1949 to 1956 in that New York era of baseball where it was pretty much a New York team in the World Series every year. I think all but two, it was a New York team in the World Series. Sometimes it was two. They played each other. So any other requests for me tonight? Any interest in any teams? Otherwise, hey, at least we somewhat stuck to the schedule. At least we did the year in review still. So, and I want to thank you guys for those of you that stuck around during it, and two, for those of you who were a part of making it happen, which is pretty much all of you. So we're looking for big things in 2019. We're going to come out with a new wave post tomorrow. It's in process. I got to finish it. I got a lot of back paperwork that, stuff that just, there's a lot that goes on when the camera shuts off too. So that's why it's a full-time job. And hopefully we can bust a couple breaks tomorrow. Maybe 3. We'll get this one. We'll figure out Bowman's Best. We pull a lot of cool stuff out of Bowman's Best. So, I mean, that last case, it's only a couple low-numbered ones, but out of the 32 hits, I mean, 10 of them were like prime-time prospects? Gorman, Kellenick twice, a gold Mackenzie Gore. All right, Clint Frazier's stock is down, but it's numbered to 10. Come on. We had Hunter Green, Jonathan India. All right, I'm already up to 7, and my memory is not that good. So if I remembered 70% of the good stuff that came out last night. And then we had Mickey Mantle come out last night. A Jose Abreu baseball come out last night. So, those weren't a part of the case, but there's a lot of exciting stuff in last night's break. And there'll be a post about that coming shortly as well. You want to do a box of Kings too? All right. Do you need any kind of an invoicing or write Dan's name on this one? So I got 3 more boxes from this case, and then we have another case that we have the case break going towards. So let me know when you're ready. And let's see what King can pop out next. You got it. So we're gonna see this again. So now we're gonna get a feel for it. Last year we only did 1 box. It was Ted Williams and Hank Greenberg. That's an awesome box right there. Now we got George Sisler, who is until Ichiro broke the record, one of those trivia questions that most baseball nerds knew. And then Sandy Koufax, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. So let's see what this box comes out next. Curious. Definitely curious to see. And then National Treasures and Bowman Draft. There are 8 teams needed to put that on the board officially. I don't know if we're going to get them in 27 minutes, but I'm hoping that we can break this early in the afternoon tomorrow. Would be awesome. Give us some time to get some other things rolling. All right, so you want box number 2. So box number 2 for Corey Brandt. And let's see what our next Royal excursion here is going to bring us. We're taking a trip on the wild side, busting historic autographed Kings tonight. All right. They needed about another eighth of an inch on these boxes, but who knew, right? All right. Let's start with the gold one. So this is numbered 7 out of 7. All right. This is a guy that's got a cool Gaudi card too. Now this guy was born in 1902 and passed away in 1956. He played for 2 decades in the late 20s and 30s. He played for the Philadelphia A's, the Chicago White Sox for the majority of his career. And then he kind of bounced a bit at the end of his career between the Tigers, the Senators, the Braves, the Reds, back to the A's, to the Red Sox, and back to the A's again. So most of his career was with the A's, but he kind of took the show on the road. Didn't seem to slow him down, though. For that era of baseball, he had 307 home runs. He batted .334 and just short of 3,000 hits, 2,927. So, I mean, this guy, again, Sisler, 340 career. These guys meant business, man. 334 batting average. He was a 3-time All-Star, 2 World Series rings, 2-time batting champion, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1953 on his 7th ballot. And we got Al Simmons. So, Al Simmons. You know, this isn't a guy whose signature is out there as much because, quite frankly, you know, some of these guys that live to be 100 and every year, you know, they would go to the Hall of Fame and they would sign for a lot of people, and that's how these cut signatures get into autograph booklets and stuff like that. So, so Al Simmons is your gold. And then for your silver, this one's numbered 3 out of 19. I've actually literally been within a quarter of an inch of this person, as I almost ran into him one time in White Plains, like literally. I was backing up because somebody kind of cut in front of me while I was having a conversation, and almost ended up tripping this poor guy. This guy didn't trip very often, though, because he was probably one of the fastest ever in the major leagues, and one of the smartest base runners, too. So numbered 3 out of 19, Rickey Henderson. So no Babe Ruth or Tom Brady yet, but that's what we got. And just a little hint, if I still have it left, one of the breaks that I'm constructing, one of these boxes is going to be the skunk bonus. Now, if you think skunking and hitting a Mickey Mantle is cool, can you imagine if we're Michael Jordan or Babe Ruth? So, thank you, Corey. And then, let's see here. Let's see. Might have a team gone in National Treasures. Won't be enough to get us to standby yet, but we got one team down in National Treasures, possibly. We'll find out in a minute. So there's where we stand. Do we have any other requests tonight? One of the things I also plan on doing is every once in a while I do inventory. So I am going to, might not be until Monday or Tuesday, but I want to do it before White Plains. So I got a complete 100% accurate list of all the boxes that we have in stock. So then we can update the boxes for sale post. I haven't done that in a while. But with as few things as we've been getting for football, it's just been going right to breaks. So stuff like this doesn't necessarily make that post, but we plan on updating everything very soon with that too. And we're going to have some wrestling breaks and a football break. All right, pick your team football mixer. And then I believe 2 baseball breaks. And then we'll see if I have anything else planned out. So if anybody's interested in more Kings, again, we have a case break up. It's $199 for a spot. I do have personals available. Yes, what are you looking for? And I'll see if I got it. Yeah, Al Simmons is not an easy signature. If I remember correctly, they actually go for quite a bit. I don't know what that particular cut signature would go for, but the thing is, you don't see a lot of them on eBay either, so. And condition is something. I don't know. I don't know if the fact that that one's a little smaller affects anything. I'm trying to get something comparable here, and I don't really have anything good to look at the moment. So I think I'd have to dig a little deeper on that one. But I'm seeing here, and again, this is what I don't like about comparable sales, because sometimes people just give up. Most of the people selling an Al Simmons autograph aren't selling it under like $300. There's a couple like $282. There's a Perez Steel that's going for $360. Is that a Perez Steel? Oh, it's matted. Okay, that's why. I was like, he wasn't even doing artwork before the guy died. That it was a cut signature. I'm trying to look at. There's only 2 things that have sold, and the signature is faded on the multiplayer baseball, so I don't even count that. And then the other thing is a check. Not slabbed or anything. I don't know. It's hard to get any comps that are usable on that. I could probably dig deeper. 125 to 150. Football, baseball, Walking Dead. No, Walking Dead. We don't have anything in that range. You want another box? Dan, send you another invoice? Football, baseball, and basketball. All right, I'll read off the list in just 1 second. Let me just type this out real quick. So, all right, save it. And there you go. Rockies are now sold off of the National Treasures break. So now we're 7 teams away from scheduling that. Like to do it tomorrow afternoon. I like to do some earlier breaks. We're always so late, but I mean, if it's not filled, I can't break it. So, all right. So Rockies are now gone. All right, so Dan's going to do the top box, and then Corey's going to do the bottom one. Let me just read off real quick while they're getting that sent over. These are some of the boxes I have at the 125 to 150 price range. And I'm just pulling up the post right now. And then I got to think off the top of my head some of the ones that I didn't get on the post yet. So you said football, baseball, basketball. We have Contenders Draft Baseball is 115. We got Contenders Draft Basketball 139. Again, these prices are ripped and shipped within the U.S. We have Certified Football at 119. Elite Football at 119. Onyx Game Used Batting Gloves are 109. Cornerstones Basketball 17-18 is 109. Same with Essentials Basketball from last year. We got 17-18 hobby boxes of Optic Basketball at 119. Oh man, what's some of the newer stuff that we got in? Bowman's Best Baseball at 115. All right, so Dan's going to do the top box. So here is the top box. It's upside down. For Dan Stacy. Dan, what do we got here? Well, Dan, this one's numbered 4 out of 5. This is not the first gold autograph that we've ever shown. But this is the first one that we've ever pulled of this particular player who's known for breaking a barrier of another color. He's the only Major League Baseball player to have his number retired by every single solitary team. Matter of fact, the last person to wear his number is probably going to be elected into the Hall of Fame this year, unanimous or pretty darn close to it. Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson. Well, that's another one off of our bucket list. Now we just got to find Gehrig somewhere. And then your silver is going to be a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame, but unfortunately, you gotta play by the rules. 9 out of 25, Pete Rose. So Pete Rose, the silver out of that box. That is going to be a nice picture. So we're already racking up Hit of the Year candidates for 2019. All right. So now we got what was in the bottom box. You ready, Corey? What do we got? What do we got for you? Gonna go with the silver one first. So Becky Lynch, we love you, babe, but this individual was the man way before you were even born, honey. 5 out of 25. Stan the Man Musial. Now, it is hard. It is hard to beat Jackie Robinson, and we're not going to. Now, last night, we were doing a break. We had a skunk bonus, and we hit this individual. And that was out of Capital of Baseball, which is available for $109 a box. So if Kings frightens you a little bit, we do have Capital of Baseball, $109, 2 slabs. Just a little bit lower on the checklist there. But Jackie Robinson and Mickey Mantle are both in it. So now Dan just hit Jackie Robinson, 13 out of 19. This is the second night in a row we're breaking some historic autograph stuff. And it is the second night in a row that Mickey Mantle has come to the show. You know, I almost ended up with the Mickey Mantle last night. It was in the last 3 teams that I sold, and I comboed those off. Oh, last time I make a deal like that. No, it won't be. I want you guys to get good hits. I love it when we pull stuff like this for you guys. So Mickey Mantle Only 19 in this series. There's 30 in the other. Mickey Mantle. The big hit there. So now we've seen what a full case of Kings looks like. So my question is, do we want to do another? We have a case break up. It's $199 for a spot or 2 for $385, which is essentially what we're charging for the box. So, just trying to cover shipping and insurance costs, really, not trying to go anything over that. So $199 a spot or 2 for $385. If anybody wants to take a crack at it, thank you. Yes, 2 happy Mickey Mantle winners in one after the other there. So now that we've seen what a whole case looks like, let's try to break another one tomorrow and combo that with 1 or 2 other breaks. Again, we want to pull some fire for you guys. So 2 nights in a row, January 3rd and January 4th, 2 Mickey Mantles. Now I don't think we're going to keep the pace, and we're going to pull 180 Mickey Mantles for the year, but we're going to pull a lot of good stuff. So. So, Rosario, are you still in here? Did you get to take a look at the list? It's tough. It's going to be tough to top Jackie Robinson. But the other case might be able to do it. There's usually at least 1 boom per case, so... We're going to get caught up on our posts tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have something a little earlier in the day that we can knock out. We now need 7 teams for NT Bowman Draft. And it's pretty much where we're at right now. Is Jackie's signature out there a lot? That is a good question. His is, I don't want to say common. There's a lot of cut signatures of his. He worked, if I remember correctly, as like an executive after his playing days were over. So there are a lot of documents, letters, and things like that his name's on. So I don't want to say it's out there a lot, but he didn't die young. I mean, not super young. But the demand that's out there for his autograph is more than enough to contain the market of the availability out there, if that answers the question. Just like Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle's got a lot of signatures out there. You gave him a beer, he gave you an autograph, you know? And he had his restaurant, and he was a big signer. But his autograph still goes for decent money. So. But I would say Jackie Robinson's might be a little bit harder on the on the man there. See if I can get it in good lighting. And not with my face on it. Yeah. Did the best I can with the lights. Take a picture of all of them in a little while with better lighting. There you go. That's a forever thing. That should be handed down from family member to family member. So. All right. So, do we got anything else? I think what I'll do is we'll repost Kings as his own post. We'll put up the pictures of this case that we broke here, and maybe we'll go from 0 spots to 8 real fast. I usually give it till about midnight, and it's midnight in here on the East Coast, so it'll go tomorrow. But if we can get 7 teams to sell tonight, I'll schedule a nice early time tomorrow for it to go. All right, not sure when that would be exactly, but it wouldn't be 9:30. We wouldn't need to wait that long, and it's a Saturday. You know, maybe mid to late afternoon or early evening, somewhere around there. So one more time, let me go over what teams there are. Again, 2 boxes of NT, 2 boxes of Bowman Draft Jumbo, and the skunk bonus is a custom jersey signed by Barry Larkin. Diamondbacks are 35, Orioles are 65, White Sox are 75, Cubs are 85, Reds are 90, Tigers, Astros, Royals 50 apiece, Marlins 40, Mets 90, A's 60, Pirates are 40, Padres are 30, M's are 35, Rays are 40, Rangers are 35, and let me give you my 5 best bang for the buck picks right here. As I try to pull this up real fast. Top 5 best bang for the buck picks. Here we go. I like the Mets at 90. I think that's a good go. I like the Rays at 40. I like the Padres at 30. Then I would go Cubs at 85 and the White Sox at 75. That's what I'm feeling right now. So what teams would I combo with the Reds? I would combo the Padres and the depends on what you're looking for. I'd probably say the White Sox and the Cubs would be my next picks to combo with the Reds. But I don't think the Astros would be a bad one either because they have a high probability in National Treasures. So if you're looking for some current star players, the Mets have probably the biggest hit possibilities for guys like Kelenic or Nolan Ryan or Noah Syndergaard. I mean, there's a lot of Mets out there in National Treasures. They're one of the featured players out of Bowman Draft. The Mets are my number one pick, not because I like them, because I often don't put them on that checklist, but because they should be the top team grabbed, in my opinion. So, but I'll give you 4 to choose from, depending on what you're looking for. So that would be what I would say is the ones to go for. But definitely the Padres in there. It worked for you last time. Padres definitely worked for you last time. I don't know if lightning strikes twice, but you're in a bit of a roll. It's worth a shot for the Padres. They could get into the skunk bonus. Who knows? If you're prospecting, I kind of like the Royals and the Pirates too. Royals have some quantity. Granted, the top ones are pitchers, but they got some numbers. And then the Pirates, Travis Swaggerty is a nice one to go after. And then you have a shot at some cool stuff in National Treasures like Clemente relics and stuff like that. Give you all 5. All right, so I'll repeat them again. Let's see here. So Reds. And then I said, let's see, Astros, Mets, Padres. Yeah, I think I got one too many. Maybe it was before the Mets. So Reds, Astros, White Sox, Cubs, and Padres. The first 5 that I said. So Reds, White Sox, Cubs, Astros, and Padres. I think those were the first 5 I said. Is that correct? Just want to make sure I got it right. And then, being that it's only one team away, it's on standby. I'll pretty much, I don't know. I think my wife fell asleep waiting, but we'll set a time before I leave the house for softball tomorrow. So I think Rick's on a little bit of a lag. Throw in the Mets too? All right, you got it. So this is officially breaking tomorrow. All right. So tomorrow we will be breaking National Treasures and Bowman Draft, and I'm going to try to set an earlier time for that as well. So does anybody else have anything for me? And I got to get another photo out. That is just awesome. All right, trying to get... That didn't come out too bad. All right. Got Christmas lights and all that stuff to deal with. All right, so I'll get you a total sent there. So anything else? Seems like tonight ended up being kind of a personal break night. And we did our year in review. And starting off 2019 with a bang, that's for sure. That's 50, 140. Let's save all of them. There we go. All right. Do a little mathematics here. $75, $85, and $90. $50, $90 is $140. And 7. And then hopefully we pull something huge tomorrow. And a couple other big things on the side. So I got that info out to you, and then I'm just going to update the ticker here. So it takes out Padres, Mets, Astros, Reds, Cubs, and White Sox. All right, so again, we hit 22. We did it a little after midnight. Not really much of an opportunity to get anybody rounded up here, but I will put that this is going to be breaking tomorrow, and we do kind of plan to do it before our regularly expected showtime. So, again, 2 boxes of National Treasures, 2 boxes of Bowman Draft Jumbo, and a Barry Larkin custom jersey will be randomed off as a skunk bonus. Diamondbacks are 35, Orioles 65, Tigers 50, Royals 50, Marlins are 40, A's are 60, Pirates are 40, Mariners are 35. The Rays are 40, and the Rangers are 35. And we'll set a time for that tomorrow, probably in the morning at some point. So we'll see when I got to wake up early. We're on a rotating schedule for softball practice, and we got 9:30 a.m. this week. So I'm going to drink my Coke, splash of Coke with some rum, and then it'll get me to bed soon. But we're still here, and somebody is looking for a personal. I guess we lost Rosario. But does anybody else have anything for me? We'll get that squared away. And Saturday is another day. So more exciting stuff to come. Again, National Treasures and Bowman Draft already set for tomorrow. Maybe we can knock out a few more random teams out of the Bowman Best case and random those off and get that set up for the evening. I don't know. 35, I'm sorry, not 35. What is it? $39 for one team, 2 for $75. I think that was it. So it's a full case of Bowman's Best plus 1 box of 2018 Topps Update Jumbo. All right, and I seen other breakers do it without the jumbo box for $39. So that's what we got. $39 a spot, and box of Topps Update Jumbo to go along with the case of 2018 Bowman's Best. So if we have no more chatter, I'm gonna hit the hay after I hit this up. And then tomorrow, some more big hits. So again, thank you all for watching and for supporting us in 2018. Cheers to 2019. Again, I put it all out there. I gave you my list of things that I wanted to do. So, have a good night, and we'll rip you a new one tomorrow. Take it easy.